So this is our PESTLE analysis for responsible fashion.
For political, we looked at emerging manufacturing hubs due to government investment, such as Ethiopia. Ethiopia is seen as the new sourcing and manufacturing hotspot for fashion due to the significant government funding of infrastructure and heavy investments from global brands such as Calvin Klein and Aldo. The country is considered the most promising dynamic fashion manufacturing centre. Many large global brands and the government are ploughing huge investment into improving the quality and productivity of clothing manufacturers throughout Ethiopia. The country boasts a cheaper landing cost than competitors Vietnam, China, and Indonesia, alongside duty-free access to the US market due to the AGOA. China still suffers with poor worker welfare, making clothing and manufacturing in the country extremely unethical, which is another factor drawing brands to Ethiopia. Ethiopia offers better facilities and working conditions than both Bangladesh and Cambodia. The government have also heavily invested into the country by building an eco-industrial park for large-scale production companies, which has drawn the attention such as H&M and PVH. The country offers the largest hydroelectric power in Africa, which makes manufacturing there much more ethical and responsible. We also looked at political instability in popular manufacturing destinations such as Bangladesh. There's been years of political unrest there due to government corruption aiming to stop civil society and free expression. The increased danger of violence and protests throughout Bangladesh has killed hundreds of civilians by the government security forces and the decision of a state of emergency. Bangladeshi garment workers within factories face severely poor working conditions and are unable to rectify them due to anti-union tactics used by their employers, such as assaults on union organisers. The severe civil unrest has made it extremely dangerous for global companies to source and manufacture from there, as manufacturing is frequently delayed by unrest and protests, and brands are unable to visit factories and suppliers due to great safety risk. There is also political unrest in Ethiopia. A state of emergency has been declared after months of violent anti-government protests due to civilians demanding more political, economic and cultural rights. Police have killed over 400 civilians and tourism and sourcing has been impacted significantly due to the danger of entering the country. Protesters have been attacking foreign companies, which could threaten Ethiopia's reputation as growing and developing manufacturing hub that is ripe for international investment. Donald Trump's succession has also impacted responsible fashion as he aims to abolish the Environmental Protection Agency by initially cutting parts of their funding. The EPA was created in 1970 to protect human health and the environment. Therefore, if Trump abolishes the agency, it could impact the USA from practicing responsible fashion, as the agency will not be able to have the funds to ensure companies are ensuring workers' rights are being met and responsible sourcing and manufacturing is practiced.
Environmental factors affecting fashion. The fashion and textiles industry is the most polluting industry in the world, coming in at second to oil. Every stage of a garment's production threatens our planet and its resources. It can take more than 10,000 litres of water to produce just 1 kilogram of cotton, which is equivalent to one t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Up to 8,000 different chemicals are used to turn raw materials into clothing, including a range of dyeing and finishing processes, which end up being dumped into rivers and lakes that are in a lot of cases for some communities their only source of water. Fashion cycle pollution and natural disaster. Hurricanes, tsunamis and droughts all have their impact on the fashion industry, as they affect the countries where a lot of garment manufacturing happens. Droughts and floods can affect cotton production as a lot of water is needed to grow and process cotton, but Levi's launched their waterless jeans in 2014 as they eliminated 96% of the water used in jean production. The fashion cycle is changing more than ever before, as fast fashion has gained momentum over the years. The length of seasons are now shortening and merging into one and becoming a continuous season led by trends. But also, with the weather being affected by global warming, the sales period of winter items is lengthening as customers are needing thicker items for longer periods of time, and spring-summer items are shortening. Fossil fuel fabrics. Manufacturing emits pollution into the airways and waterways, harming both environmental and human health. For every ton of polyester, over 5 tons of carbon dioxide is released into the environment. Textiles such as polyester take between 30 to 200 years to biodegrade, and when they do, chemicals such as formaldehyde, heavy metals, and BPAs are released. Is fast fashion worth the harm it is causing?
So the social factors is that women's wear in Britain rose by 21% in 4 years between 2001 and 2005. During the same period, prices dropped by at least 14%, but not because we were buying less, we were actually buying more than we ever have done before. Our expensive downfall is that most of us refuse to wear the same garment or accessory more than twice. Our friends often point out when we wear the same item more than once. This attitude is adopted by the media, which is a great source that we're heavily influenced by, as a result of sudden celebrity trends and blogging culture. Traditional trend-led influences have moved away from catwalks and towards music and arts, which has caused an emergence of street style. Retailers must understand their customer type to understand where they get their influences from. Social media is a very popular source, and research shows that Generation Z are extremely technologically focused. Celebrities are often criticised in the media for outfit repeating, and this attaches a negative stigma. This creates peer pressure to constantly have new garments and outfits all the time. Therefore, we buy fast, cheap, and in huge quantities. Louise Morgan and Great PESTLE found that women aged 18 to 25 typically spend between £20 and £200 per month on fashion items. And when these affordable items are torn or become marked, they will just throw them away. Customer attitudes as a result, habits are changing, and there's more traditional ways of purchasing in harmony with your income, and the way we carefully wash clothing has little in common with how we consume today. In an attempt to reduce the amount of fast fashion products that end up in the landfill sites, large retailers are considering leasing apparel, lead to understand that attitudes towards fast fashion cannot be changed, so they embrace it but in a more sustainable way. Lead to customers pay £32 per month and in return receive 3 garments and 2 accessories. Once the customer decides they have worn the garment or accessory enough, they are able to send them back to the retailer and a new package is sent out to them, and the cycle goes on. This system prevents you from committing the crime of outfit repeating. Panorama discovered that overseas factory workers have little, if any, rights. One factory worker said that the machines have all the rights. If one breaks, they will fix it straight away because they have benefit from the machine. But if anything happened to a Syrian worker, they'll throw them away like a piece of cloth. This demonstrates how little they are valued and how poorly they are treated within the supply chain. This may come to no surprise that factory workers are often uneducated in important areas such as health. Retailers have recognised this, and many, along with Primark, have put programmes in place that support and make employees more aware.
When looking at technological factors, we looked at the growing popularity of wearable technology, such as Fitbit watches. And these watches have technology in them to aid the wearer in health and exercise. A Fitbit senses and tracks heart rate through pure pulse technology, tracks calories, sleep patterns, and sleep quality by tracking the wearer's REM sleep. This enables the wearer to track and learn which exercise their body responds well to through tracking heart rate, alongside giving an insight of how to improve their well-being. We also looked at the Apple Watch Nike Plus, which has built-in GPS technology, which tracks the wearer's pace, distance, and route. The watch also offers the Nike Plus Run Club, which tracks the wearer's progress and saves each run to motivate them to beat their goals. The Nike Plus technology boosts the wearer's health insight and progress in exercising as they can track their progress, as well as being motivated by their friends who also use Nike Plus Run Club.
In recent years, 3D printed clothes and accessories have appeared on runways. In 2013, 3D printed fashion had a huge moment when the annual Victoria's Secret fashion show was broadcast. Model Cara Delevingne walked the runway in computer-generated angel wings, whilst Lindsay Ellingson was outfitted in a corset and arm pieces, intricately designed to look like snowflakes. One advantage of 3D printing with textiles is the level of complexity. When you think of constructing with a sewing machine, you're always thinking in terms of the thread, while 3D printing, you're not limited to that.
In recent years, there has been a lot of advancements in technology. Communication has increased and people are able to find out information much quicker. Because of the advancements in technology, the general public are able to research and have a better knowledge on what responsible fashion is and will want to purchase clothing that they know has been made responsibly. For retail companies, this is putting a higher demand on responsible fashion in order to retain custom. However, due to the advancements in technology, this allows the retail companies to have more communication with their suppliers and the factories producing their clothing. Therefore, the retail companies can ensure that the rules and regulations for that company is being adhered to and working conditions are safe for the employees and working environment.
Advancements in technology could mean that machinery will soon replace human workers, which will mean that for those workers there will be a lack of jobs and skill sets will become a thing of the past.
For the economical factors, there are many economic factors regarding responsible fashion. Economical factors are extremely important when considering a more responsible fashion industry. Currently, there are a vast amount of issues that are contributing to the economical issues that can either hinder or restrain responsible fashion. In the past few months, the British public are dealing with the issue of the United Kingdom leaving the European Union and becoming an independent country. There are positives and negatives for the fashion industry due to this change. As the UK is not part of the European Union anymore, it will make it more difficult for the UK to trade with other countries due to the rising cost and the new trade barriers. For many fashion companies, the issue of responsible fashion can often be forgotten due to costings. For these companies, knowing that the cost of labour can be more cost effective depending on the country, it can be very appealing to the suppliers as they can reduce cost prices for the company purchasing the product. It is every business's aim to make a profit, therefore they will try to ensure the best possible ways to enhance their profitability. However, this can encourage child labour and poor working environments for the employees. In a recent article, it is stated that it was discovered that children were working for 13p an hour in factories in Myanmar that are producing clothing for UK high street companies such as H&M and Sports Direct. This means that they will receive less than half the minimum wage. Another economical issue regarding responsible fashion is that the unemployment rate has increased, therefore many people have less disposable income to spend on items such as clothing. Therefore, the fashion companies need to find ways to reduce prices, and this can contribute to irresponsible fashion behaviours.
In the UK, fashion retailers must abide by several laws. One of these laws is the Consumer Rights Law. The law protects the rights of the consumer when they are buying goods or services. The consumer can get help if the retailer treats them unfairly or if something goes wrong, including help with credit and store cards, faulty goods, counterfeit goods, poor service, problems with contracts, problems with builders, and rogue traders. Retailers must also abide by discrimination laws, both when employing people and when conducting business with people. It is against the law to discriminate against anyone because of their age, being or becoming a transsexual person, being married or in a civil partnership, being pregnant or on maternity leave, having a disability, their race including colour, nationality, ethnic or national origin, their religion, belief or lack of religion and belief, their sex and their sexual orientation. The Equality Act of 2010 legally protects people from discrimination. Retailers need to ensure that themselves, their suppliers and their subcontractors comply with the Health and Safety at Work Act of 1974. The Act is the primary piece of legislation covering occupational health and safety in Great Britain that covers subjects including control of asbestos, escape and rescue from fire, ionising radiation and working at height. Dispatches produced a documentary covering the hazardous working conditions of some garment manufacturers in Leicester. These manufacturers were subcontractors, producing garments for retailers such as Boohoo and Misguided. In the documentary, it was highlighted that the fire escapes were blocked, therefore the manufacturers were not compliant with the Health and Safety at Work Act.
Thank you.
Thank you.